Aloha everyone, Michelle Melendez with Blossom Inner Wellness. I'm here with Tia Leah from Maui. We live in Hawaii, and we are doing a call out to national news to pick up the story that the Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources, Bureau of Land and Natural Resources has approved going forward with an experiment they don't even know is going to work that will release 40 billion injected Wolbachia bacterium injected mosquitoes on the island of Maui, where Tina lives. And their goal, they say, is to save native birds, that the birds are dying from a bird malaria, and this will basically give birth control to the mosquitoes, and so that the birds can come back again. But the thing is, there's so many holes in their Maui assessment, and I'm going to have Tina talk about that in a second. They have denied public request to do a full environmental impact statement. And they state that they're going to be releasing 300 million to 700 plus million injected mosquitoes, male mosquitoes, and they know that one female will be released per every roughly 250,000. One injected female mosquito only has to mate one time with one injected male, and she can lay up to 300 eggs. They claim that they can stop this experiment by stopping releasing these male injected mosquitoes. But once it's out in the environment like that, with females laying 300 eggs, it doesn't stop. Tina, what do you want to say to this? We're making a call out to any national news station to pick this story up. Any YouTube influencer to pick this story up, help us spread the word. Go ahead, Tina. What do you have to say?
So one thing I want to make sure that the public knows that the information that's being presented by the proponents of this project, a lot of it is misinformation from their end, and I've got documents to back that up. So if anyone, in the media would have the bravery to take a look and be at minimum neutral and allow us to present that information, I think you would be alarmed. I have not once spoken on anything that I don't have documents to back up. Much of it is these agencies' own documents. These are
Go ahead
federal
and
documents.
share with us a few of the things that are very concerning about this issue.
So from their documents themselves, in their environmental assessment, they talk about the risks of the project to the wildlife and the INA, and risks that they need to mitigate. And some of those things include how the drones. There's 100, I think it's 146. I'm sorry, I don't have that number in front of me right now, but over 100 drones per week that will be dropping these mosquitoes over 64,666 acres of East Maui, up to twice a week, up to 6,000 mosquitoes per acre, or, according to their document, their environmental assessment that they just passed through, up to 20, at least 20 years, it says in the document, at least 20 years, they're going to be doing this. And they have not studied it adequately at all. And tropical disease expert Dr. Lauren Pang, who has spoken as a private citizen on this, was the first people I talked to when I heard about the project, because I wanted to know how he felt about it and whether or not be as concerned as I was. And it turned out I should be even more concerned.
And so let me just say too,
he feels.
I want to pop in with the Hawaii Health Department asked Dr. Pang, for his tropical disease specialist, Dr. Pang, for his opinion that they are ignoring. Not only are they ignoring his opinion of no, don't do this, they're ignoring alternatives that he has given to do something else to save the native birds. Their goal is to save the native birds. So go ahead, Tina.
It would appear that they are choosing not to address those concerns that he's presented to them. And, most has spoken as a private citizen and an expert in his field, but he did present to the Department of Health at their request, information information about this bacteria and how it, functions, and the concerns about the horizontal transmission, which is, I would say, one of his main concerns, is that this bacteria can transmit between the mosquitoes and between other insect vectors of disease, including insects that are vectors of disease, other insects in general. Would be through feeding sites and the standing water, as opposed to it transferring vertically, which is the intention of the project, is for it to transfer through the breeding.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
not addressing that, and the peer review studies that are referenced by Dr. Pang. That's where we initially got these studies that we keep presenting to these agencies repeatedly. Please take a look. Please take a look. Some of those studies show that this Wolbachia bacteria can cause increased pathogen infection, which can mean that the mosquitoes can become more capable of spreading diseases. And specific studies show those diseases can include the avian malaria that they are going to mitigate. So this could kill the birds.
Yeah.
It could also include West Nile virus, which could affect the birds and humans. So this is just a small fraction of what to be concerned about. There's other multiple things that I addressed in my testimony, specifically this last. There were
they completely ignored her testimony. They ignored the fact that she asked 2 people to recuse themselves because of conflict of interest, which they did not do. They ignored her request to contest the vote and to wait to give, so that she can send in her documentation. They were supposed to stop the vote and give her 10 days for her to send in her documentation of why this should be contested, and they did not do that. They refused to do that. They voted yes to put this through of an experiment that they don't even know is going to work. They literally state that they don't know if this is going to work. They want to create a biolab on Maui that is a subsidiary of Google. So we are asking any national news, pick up this story. If you are a YouTube influencer, pick up this story. We need people to know what is happening here on the islands of Hawaii. If you love Hawaii, if you come to visit, or if you've never come and you want to come, please support this story so that it can still be here when you come, and be a safe place where people can enjoy the Aina, enjoy the land, enjoy the sunshine, and enjoy the birds and each other. So Tina, any last thoughts?
A few things they do talk about in the environmental assessment itself and the federal document, that they are looking to create at least one lab here on the islands related to research with these mosquitoes, and additional research into the future that has to do with gene drives and
No, we didn't even talk about that. The CRISPR technology.
That's a whole other thing. We're not going to go into that, but yes, CRISPR. And so they are talking about that. And actually the lab, Verily Life Sciences, that is one of the labs that's been identified in some of the documents related to the project, the permitting, etc., is a subsidiary of Google's parent company, Alphabet. So there are a lot of concerns with that, which we won't go into right now. But just a few additional concerns very quickly that were addressed in my testimony that they chose not to discuss at all, and that I believe they that their whole maneuvering at that meeting was to silence the discussion of this and not allow it to be presented to the public. There's only so much you can present in that short 2-minute, but my written testimony, which included I always include references to peer reviewed studies, their own documents, federal documents, permits, etc. That includes, as we said, those specific risks to the environment, the native birds, public health, the conflicts of interest. There were some procedural errors, and those are not minor procedural errors. Those are things that would stand up in court. There's a potential interstate transport of weapons and lack of permitting, which again is not a minor issue. They did not receive EPA approval to use the mosquitoes before they, put this finding of no significant impact through and assured the public that these mosquitoes are safe as a biopesticide. They haven't even been approved by our federal agency that is supposed to assure the safety of these pesticides. And then, very alarming was that in the environmental assessment, they assert that the released mosquitoes don't pose a risk to human health, and they cite a specific study by Popovici et al. And that study has been discredited by the EPA as not something that can be referenced to assure human safety. So the
Wow.
very information that their environmental assessment hangs on, on that alone, they should have paused and taken a look at the documents that were provided to them. This is from the Environmental Protection Agency. This isn't something that I found on, some crazy alternative media site or something. This is our federal government telling you this study is not to be cited. We have discredited it for use as an assurance of human safety of these mosquitoes as a biopesticide. So it's an absolute outrage, not even to go into what we talked about earlier about the procedural violations that happened during that meeting, and that the continuing to make it difficult for us to go through the proper processes that the public should be allowed access to. But that's
Thank
my
you.
main concern about it, that they're
Awesome.
not even
Okay,
looking at it.
thank you, Tina. We're doing a call out to any national news department. Please pick this story up. Please, if you love the Hawaii Islands, if you are a YouTube influencer, pick this story up. Let this story be out there and get out there, because if this goes through, the Hawaii Islands could and may never be the same again. So much aloha to you all, much mahalo, and much mahalo, Tina. Thank you.